The US-Israeli war with Iran has been going on for about 25 days, and Iran has been completely destroyed. The war broke out after talks with the US and the IAEA regarding Iran's uranium enrichment reached no conclusion. Iran's refusal to accept proposals in the nuclear talks, and the belief that a nuclear-armed Iran posed an unacceptable security threat, led to the current conflict. Iran's financial and material support for terrorist groups, Iran's progress in ballistic missile capabilities, and the need to protect Washington from them were major factors in the war. Another major factor leading to the war was internal conflicts, and the IRGC suppression of the uprising against the authoritarian regime and economic instability, killing about 50,000 protesters, became another reason for the war. Based on simulated reports of a conflict in 2026, Iran suffered over 6,000 military casualties. Nearly 1,500 more were killed, 15,000 were injured, and extensive infrastructure damage. The US military attacked approximately 78 targets. 190 ballistic missile launchers and 130 naval vessels were sunk or destroyed. Approximately 20 aircraft were destroyed. Several high-ranking military and political leaders were killed, and key IRGCN surface combatants were killed, and their military bunkers were destroyed. There were attacks on nuclear facilities and power grids. Iran's economies collapsed, with the value of the rial reaching record lows, inflation exceeding 40–50%, oil exports plummeting, more than $100 billion in foreign investment lost, and damage to cultural sites and historical monuments. Significant damage to Revolutionary Guards, IRGC command centers and basage units. Tens of thousands of people displaced. The joint US-Israeli airstrikes in Iran, codenamed Operation Rising Lion, killed several top military and political leaders, causing a major disruption to the Iranian command structure. In addition to Khomeini, the confirmed deaths include the IRGC Commander-in-Chief Major General, the Chief of Staff Major General, other top IRGC leaders, and key figures in Iran's nuclear and intelligence sectors. The key Iranian leaders killed were IRGC Commander-in-Chief Hossein Salami, Mohammad Bagheri, Chief of Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, Ali Shamkhani, Secretary of the Iranian Defense Council, Amir Ali Hajizadeh, Commander of the IRGC's Air Force/Aerospace Forces, Aziz Nasserzadeh, Iranian Defense Minister and former Air Force Commander, IRGC Ground Forces Commander Mohammad Pakber, IRGC spokesperson Ali Mohammad Naini, IRGC Intelligence Organization Head Mohammad Kasvi, Ali Larijani, Head of Supreme National Council, Alireza Tangsiri, IRGC Navy Commander. Also among those killed were Faridan Abbasi, former head of the Atomic Energy Organization, and top nuclear scientist Mohammad Mehdi Tehrani. IRGC intelligence and command centers were also attacked. As of the end of March 2026, more than 1,500 people had been killed in Iran, and the number of injured in US-Israeli attacks exceeded 18,500. At least 11 medical personnel were killed, and multiple hospitals were put out of action, mostly civilians, women, and children. Although the attacks targeted military nuclear facilities, civilian infrastructure, causing significant civilian casualties. U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, has indicated that U.S.-Israeli forces have attacked more than 78 targets in Iran since the start of the war. The campaign, Operation Epic Fury, began on February 28 and is focused on destroying Iranian naval vessels, missile capabilities, and military infrastructure. More than 120 Iranian naval vessels have been damaged. The attacks have primarily targeted Iranian facilities on Karg Island, missile storage facilities, and other infrastructure. According to the Israeli Air Force, more than 200 Iranian ballistic missile launchers, missile production, storage, and defense systems were destroyed, the IDF said in a post. Reports indicate that approximately half of Iran's total ballistic missile launcher capacity was destroyed. As of March 23, 2026, in the 23-day conflict, over 120 to 130 Iranian naval vessels, including Islamic Republic of Iran Navy IRIN, and Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy IRGCN units, have been destroyed or incapacitated. These strikes significantly damaged Iran's naval capability and infrastructure near the Strait of Hormuz. Reports suggest over 130 vessels, including fast attack boats and larger warships, were sunk or damaged. 2 weeks ago, a U.S. submarine torpedoed and sank the Iranian warship IRGC off the southern coast of Sri Lanka. About 90 people were killed and 32 were rescued by the Sri Lankan Navy. The military sector has suffered a major blow. Infrastructure has been destroyed, surveillance systems have been disrupted, air defense systems have been damaged, and civilian and military aircraft have been completely grounded in the aviation sector. There has been a systematic dismantling of radar networks and communication systems. Satellite images have confirmed damage to buildings and infrastructure at Isfahan International Airport and Mehrabad Airport in Tehran. At least 17 aircraft have been reported damaged or destroyed in the airstrikes at Mehrabad Airport, especially Quds Force fighter jets. Military reports say that more than 70% of the ballistic missile launchers have been destroyed. US and Israeli attacks have severely damaged Iran's nuclear sector. In particular, the enrichment facilities at Natanz and Fordo were targeted with ground-penetrating munitions, causing extensive damage to centrifuge halls and infrastructure. The attacks affected 60% of the uranium enrichment capacity of the Natanz and Fordo nuclear plants. Significant damage was also reported to metallurgical sites in Isfahan, which affect the production of uranium metal. The tunnel entrances to the nuclear complex and the headquarters of the Atomic Energy Agency of Iran have been destroyed. The IAEA and other analysts often describe the condition of the Natanz and Fordo FEPs as very critical. Iran's war-torn economy is in deep trouble. GDP is forecast to shrink significantly. The rial's value has fallen to a record low of around 1.3 to 1.63 million to the US dollar. Oil exports have fallen sharply during the fiscal year, with some weeks of output falling below 102,000 barrels per day. Meanwhile, the decline in oil exports and international sanctions have severely limited foreign income. Annual inflation is exceeding 40–50%. And inflation exceeding 40–50% has severely affected the prices of basic goods, medicines, and daily life. Attacks on pipelines and refineries, as well as the disruption of tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, have caused a sharp drop in revenues. High sanctions, low investment, and reconstruction costs are all pushing Iran further into economic decline. Reports say that more than 100 cultural, historical, and UNESCO-listed sites in Iran have been damaged in US-Israeli military operations. Major sites, including the Golston Palace in Tehran, the Chehel Satan Palace in Isfahan, and various museums were severely damaged in the blasts. The Ministry of Culture reported that 114 sites, including 48 museums and 6 historical urban areas, were damaged in provinces such as Tehran, Isfahan, and Kurdistan. The UNESCO World Heritage Site of Golston Palace in Tehran, the 17th century Chehel Satan Palace in Isfahan, the oldest Friday Mosque in Iran, the Masjid-e Jame in Isfahan, the Ali Kapı Palace in Nakshi Jahan Square, the 19th century Salar Seed Palace in Sanandaj, and the Shapur Khast Palace in Khorramabad are all among the ruins. Up to 3.2 million people have been temporarily displaced in Iran since the war began, with millions fleeing major cities like Tehran to rural areas in the north. UN officials have warning of a rapid increase in humanitarian needs. The UNHCR report estimates that between 600,000 and 1 million homes have been displaced as a result of the ongoing US and Israeli airstrikes and the escalation of military conflict. But the US-Israeli coalition only attacks Iranian military bases and weapons depots, and they give warnings when there is an attack on a populated area. But Iran is openly attacking Israel and neighboring countries without any warnings. Within 3 weeks of the war, Iran's air and naval capabilities were completely paralyzed. Ballistic missile launchers, weapons depots, and factories were widely destroyed. However, Iran uses drones and missiles left in its bunkers to attack Israel and neighboring countries. Iran also occasionally uses some long-range missiles, but Israel accuses Russia of being the source of these long-range missiles. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said the other day that Israeli missiles hit trucks carrying weapons from Russia by road. If Putin's statements that Iran is our true friend are in the form of exchanging weapons and secrets, then the appearance and boundaries of the war will have changed. Putin's intention to fill Iranian soil with nuclear weapons and nuclear reactors in the Middle East will also be interpreted.